As sure as night follows day, when the new year rolls round and doomed diets and dry January attempts begin, English football turns to its favourite topic of conversation. With low crowds and high squad numbers on show, is the magic of the Cup dead?
No. When we've been struggling, it's something that brings you joy, that you know that we can possibly win. I'm proud of it because we've won it a lot of times, and if we can win it again, brilliant.
Ever since 2016, I've been so pro Palace having a good run in the FA Cup because when I came away from Wembley that day, I just thought, I really, really hope we get back to another final in my lifetime. It was such an extraordinary run. It really brought us together. It brought the family together, and it was just, it did feel magical.
Not only was it a chance to sort of show people that we're actually all right at football, it was also a chance to sort of put the club's values in the spotlight a little bit, show the fact that we're a really inclusive club.
The magic of the FA Cup probably isn't dead quite yet, but is certainly on its last legs on life support.
We spoke to people up and down the footballing pyramid to find out how the team you follow makes a difference to the way you view the Cup, whether or not there's life in the old girl yet, and what can be done to give her a shot in the arm.
The decline of the FA Cup, there's no one reason.
The financial incentive is so disproportionate, and there isn't enough financial incentive in the FA Cup to really sort of like justify playing the first 11.
I don't think you can point the finger at the club when the competition's organiser seems to be going out of its way to devalue its own competition. The obvious USP of the competition is the history, the tradition. It's the oldest knockout competition in the world. That's what you should be focusing on. FA Cup third round is the first Saturday of January. That's the tradition, that's the unique selling point of it, and yet we now have games scattered far and wide, whether they're on the television or not.
I think it's more us as fans. I understand when you're not playing your strongest team, is that disrespecting it, is that devaluing it? Maybe to a certain extent. But I do think it's understandable that happens. I think the more we are negative about it and we slate it and we nitpick, I think we don't help the magic of the FA Cup.
My point about the organisers of the competition is if the organisers of their own competition don't value it and allow people to mess around with it, allow bookmakers to get involved, allow sponsors to move it around, then why should supporters care?
I know a lot of people talk about scrapping replays, and I understand the angle of that, but they're important to a lot of the lower league teams.
You know what? Let's get a bit of perspective for a second. Lots of us only start thinking about the FA Cup around third round time, but of course the tournament actually starts back in August. Non-league clubs are a huge part of the Cubs' tradition and are what makes it great after all. Just ask Dulwich Hamlet, who had their moment in the spotlight in the first round when they welcomed Carlisle to Champion Hill in front of the BBC cameras.
We had to win 3 games to get here.
And then when we finally made it after beating Havant and Waterlooville, it was a big moment for the football club.
We hosted the draw here. We had, we opened up the clubhouse to fans to come down and watch the draw here, and everyone's thinking, we could get Sunderland, we could get Portsmouth.
And then to draw a kind of a Northern League team down here is kind of the dream, really.
That's an opportunity to show what we're about as a club, and especially after the BBC announced that they were going to be showing it on the Friday night under the floodlights. Yeah, it was just an incredible thing for the club to have an opportunity to do.
And I think it kind of galvanised the club. Not that we needed galvanising, but I think it helped turn the season around a little bit for us so far. I think it gave us all a focus to really be able to showcase kind of what we're all about and what we do as a club, and also how we play football.
Now listen, we all like a bit of a moan sometimes. We like to think we're quite clever and have all the answers. But if we were put in charge of the whole thing tomorrow, what one thing would we actually do to restore the fabled magic?
Personally, I think we should get rid of the League Cup. It's just not important enough. No one could tell you who the last 10 winners of the League Cup are.
The semi-finals are at Wembley. I think it devalues getting to Wembley, and I don't know any football fan that really thinks different and thinks the semi-finals should be at Wembley.
It's not nice it being irregular. It should all be nice. Saturday 3 p.m. would be good, and you shouldn't put Premier League against Premier League side matches on the TV. I don't think that's good for it either.
I think the only rule change I'd really want is to bring bigger teams in earlier, because I think that allows more grassroots, local, small teams. It gives them that taste of the cup, gives them that magic.
It would be great if we were to see Liverpool playing down at Hampton and Richmond on a Monday night under the lights, it would be extraordinary, and it would spread the magic far and wide. I think that'd be a really good thing.
There is nothing that lifts a support group outside of those that are used to winning tournaments and competing for leagues and European football. There is nothing that lifts a support base like an FA Cup run. It's that dream, it's that maybe we could go far enough, maybe there's a European campaign in it for us, maybe we could be the team that goes to Wembley, you know, Bradford and whatever got to. There is just that dream that you don't get with league football, and that is still there.
However much we might like to moan that the Cup's lost its magic, it's clear that deep down it still holds a special place in the hearts of English football fans. We do rate the idea of bringing in all the big teams in the first round. We'd keep replays, and yeah, we wouldn't have the semis at Wembley. Can the FA Cup peacefully coexist with the global powerhouse that is the Premier League, commercial interests and post-season tours? It has to, because in the final reckoning, football is all about genuine I was there moments that will stay with you forever. And if you're looking for those, for fans of so many teams, nothing will ever come close to the FA Cup.